Welcome to Friday's Flavor, a podcast where we take the pulse on New York business from New York business. Subscribe to support the movers and shakers, making you love New York. Welcome to Friday's Flavor, everybody. It's your girl JoJo, and today we are being blessed with the presence of Budhan Ramcharan from Bellevue University. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you being on. And I'm especially happy because guess where Budhan is from? Schenectady, baby! Woo woo! Whenever you hear Schenectady, if you are from Schenectady, I know this is what you do. You go woo woo, right? So if you don't already, you know that you're missing out on all the fun. Okay. So Budhan is actually only a couple years younger than me, and we went to high school at the same time. So as I was graduating, he was coming in as a freshman. So we definitely passed each other in the hallway at some point, just didn't know it. And we've become friends ever since. Thank you, LinkedIn, for hooking people up who you're supposed to meet. And he is a relationship manager for Bellevue University, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about that. We all know you're from Schenectady, but why don't you give everybody a little bit more background on yourself?
So yeah, sure. Thank you for having me on here. And as you said, we probably did run into each other at some point, just didn't know it. And thank you to LinkedIn to connect us for sure.
I definitely look a lot different than I did in high school. I will say when I was a senior in high school, I had a lot of facial piercings. My hair was not a normal color. You would not have recognized me.
Yeah, well, people tell me I look the same, but I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'll see when I'm 40 what I look like. But yeah, a little bit about me. I think you already touched on it. From Schenectady, graduated '07, Schenectady High School. Went on to Sage in Hudson Valley, and got my degree in education, particularly physical education and health education. So definitely from the area, rooted in the area, families from the area. Have my own family in this particular area. So yeah, I definitely love this Capital District area for sure. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Yeah, if you're not from the Capital District, I would highly recommend coming over to take a visit. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, there is. So you're from Schenectady originally. I know you have kiddos who are similar in age to mine. Wait, you got the little babies, right?
I do. Yeah, my son, he's just turned one a couple of weeks ago, and he's a handful. He gets into everything. My daughter, she is 3, and she acts like the second mom around the house.
Yeah.
To my son, and she always yells at him and tells him what not to do. So,
are you loving working remotely right now?
It's good. It's going good so far. But I think everyone sort of needs some form of normalcy, whatever that normalcy is. If it's going back on campus, but it definitely does have its perks, and it does have its downs for sure. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling you. I've got my 3 kids working from home with me. I will say, I feel like at this point, I'm almost 100% certain Keurigs were invented for parents who just want their children to make coffee for them.
Well,
I'm
sure
pretty sure.
If you've seen this, Amazon, they have a smart plug. So you can actually plug your Keurig in or whatever, your coffee maker, and you can control it in the morning. You can set your Alexa on the Alexa app, and it can turn on your coffee maker for you.
My life just changed. Thank you, Budhan.
Don't worry, I ordered them the other night, so they're coming.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to control my coffee from my office. So what brought Bellevue? Let's get on, tell us a little bit about Bellevue University, because I know they're not based out of Schenectady, but they have a Schenectady base.
Right, exactly. So what brought Bellevue to this area? So first of all, Bellevue, Nebraska main campus is located in Bellevue, Nebraska. Out of all places, you would have never thought a school from Nebraska would come all the way out here to New York, right?
I didn't think there was anything in Nebraska.
Right. Well, I thought the same thing when I first accepted this position. I was like, what is in Nebraska? So I got onto the airplane, flew out to Nebraska for training, and wouldn't you know it, it was flat, to be honest. It is very flat, but the area is very much just like Schenectady. Bellevue's, the area is very much like the area of Schenectady.
Oh, cool.
So, it's a very nice area. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to go and visit. Very laid back folks. But to get back to where we were mentioning, what brought us out here. So we partner with different community colleges to create that access, that pathway for students to complete their degree, move on, and get a quality education. We primarily, if it's adult learners, so for example, if mom, dad are working full time and really cannot go, I hear you, I feel you, really cannot go to a physical campus. You do have that flexibility with Bellevue, and everything it's online. You can finish your coursework online 100%. So that's the beauty of it. It works around your schedule. So family obligations, there's outside obligations where the schedules really cannot match of going to a physical campus.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me, because I know that I'm a parent working from home right now, and I happen to love to learn. And, you know, if anybody who's watched the program more than once has probably heard me say this more than once, I think the one skill that I have, besides this beautiful rainbow personality, is
Right away.
it's you know, it's going to be the fact that I love to learn. I actually really enjoy learning. I actually had my kids young and didn't end up finishing, you know, college. Oh my gosh, I'm mind blown. That's like everybody's story. Yeah, I couldn't finish college, and, you know, ended up, you know, moving my way up in the workforce regardless, because, you know, I'll self-educate, and I've got a lot of tenacity, and you know, and I put 110% in always, which, and I can kind of tell that about you too. You're like, really, like, you're a go-getter. And so sometimes, you know, that's the biggest struggle for, you know, for a parent who, you know, especially like a single mom who wants to go back to school. And I'm not a single mom, thank God, but I know single moms who went back to school, got their degree, and did it all while like making it look easy, working full time, having their kid, and going back to school. And I know one lady, she went in person. If she was able to study from home, I think it would have changed the game for her. But it was like, watching her was inspirational. And I'm huge on continued education. Like, you should always be bettering yourself, you know.
I 100% agree with you. That's why our partnership with SUNY Schenectady, it offers students the ability to transfer all of their credits that they earn. So,
Oh, wow.
for example, if you take 60 credits at Schenectady, or if it's 70 credits, we accept the entire associate's degree in its entirety.
Wow.
So what that does for that particular student, it saves, one, it saves time, it saves money for sure, because you're not repeating any of these courses that you may repeat if you went somewhere else.
That's so annoying when they do that. I've seen that, where I went to go to apply for to go to school online part-time, and they wouldn't even take my credits that I already had. And I was like, why did you make me repeat that stuff? Like, sorry, I'm 30, I'm not into it. I'm over 30 now,
but yeah, also part of the some of the other things with the partnership is, of course, I'm on the Schenectady campus. So students, faculty, staff, if they have questions or anything, I'm there in person. So they can definitely reach out to me. Other things about the partnership is students still have access to the Schenectady campus. So for example, students can still go there, use computers, use the library if they need to.
all the resources are there for them.
They can use the resources on the campus. So that's part of our partnership agreement, you know, with SUNY Schenectady. And of course, no application fee at all. So that's waived as well.
Wow.
For Schenectady students. So, which is definitely a good perk, because if you're a student and you're applying to 6 colleges and it's $100 an application, that's $600 that you're out. So,
wow.
So yeah,
It's like, that sounds really like that's a big differentiator for you guys. What else makes Bellevue unique?
So unique. We are open access. So definitely we don't have, for example, if you're coming to a master's program, there's no GRE or any of that, SAT scores or anything of that nature. One of the other things is we serve our military, so our veterans. Our university was founded, the founder served, was in the military. So as a school, we have an entire building dedicated to veterans, active duty, and we work with the VA to offer some of those benefits that our veterans and active duty may have.
That's awesome. Wow. It sounds like you guys have really kind of set it up so that continued education is accessible, which is, I think that's the biggest issue with it is the fact that it's expensive to even apply. It's time consuming. And it's not accessible. It's not, you know, it's not so easy. Like, which classes can I take online? Which ones do I have to go on campus for? What do I need to take that class online? Because there's, you know, what books do I need? What, you know, this and that you have to consider. And to juggle that on top of having children, on top of working from home right now, a lot of people are struggling with that. I don't know. I think like it sounds great that you guys are making it easier to even apply, to just start the process, because I know like I've done it a couple of times where I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this done, or I've helped my nephews apply, and I'm like, wow, this is a really hard process.
The process can be tough. Definitely the process can be tough, but just me as the relationship manager is working with the students one-on-one, just meeting those needs, and just going through and just being a resource for the student makes it a lot easier for the student, because the student is comfortable coming to me with questions and whatnot, and I can be of assistance. Some of the other things is we offer cohort programs. So basically what that is all of your classes are already prepackaged for you. So for example, let's say you're coming into a behavioral science cohort. All of the classes that you need to take to complete your degree is already prepackaged. So you're not worried about classes closing or not
missing one.
Or missing one. So yeah, you're just going through the program and just going through your classes. And typically our cohorts are one class at a time for at every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks you're taking a different class, and you're focusing.
Smart.
Yeah, and you're just focusing on just one class at a time.
That's really good, because you know, especially if you're doing it remotely, I can't do more than one thing at a time. You know this. As a friend, you know, you've seen me struggle with the fact that I have 2 screens in front of me. Okay. It's not easy. And so, yeah, I know that that's one thing that I struggled with when I was applying actually directly to, don't even ask me where I was applying, but it was like, you know, for it to be able to even join the program, I had to be taking X number of credits per semester. Right. And the only way to make that happen is if you're taking more than one class at a time. And I was just like, I know myself. Yeah. I'm not going to do that great. Like I'm really good if I only have to focus at one thing though. So I think that's bright. If you only have to do for 6 weeks, one class for every 6 weeks, hyper focus on that one class, I think you're setting people up for success that way. You know what I mean? Which that should be the point. I kind of feel like it's almost counterintuitive at times with the way universities are set up. They almost set up to make it really hard to get in, really hard to pass, really easy to fail. Why?
Yeah, we want our students, we want to set them up for success. So from the point that they apply through essentially graduation, and after they graduate, we want them to be successful. That's the main goal. At the end of the day, it comes down to being student-centric and following the mission. So definitely, student is at the center of what we do. So for example, if a student comes to me and we're probably not the best fit for the student, we'll let them know that. We're not just, I'm not going to tell them, come on down to Bellevue, where I know they're probably not a good fit for Bellevue. Or I'll help them to see where I can be of assistance if I can look at a different college for them. I'll definitely make a recommendation. But we want the students to be at the center. They're the main focus, and that's how we do things.
I love that. I love how you roll, Budhan. Oh my gosh. Bellevue University, guys, if you are interested in continuing your education, so somebody out there who's listening right now who goes, I have wanted to get my associates and my bachelor's or my master's degree online right now, and I was considering starting something. What's your advice to that person? How do they get that process started for themselves? Even before, we talk about like going and applying, what should they do to get prepped for success,
I would say to that student, if you're looking to continuing your education or furthering your education, definitely, because that's a big step. I would definitely recommend talking to the folks around you.
Yeah.
If that's your spouse, family member, just get input, because once you start the journey, sometimes it will impact definitely that family core. But definitely talk to the folks around you, and definitely make a decision what you want to pursue. If it's business, or if it's human services, if it's IT or cybersecurity, definitely know where you want to go. And I would definitely say always keep an open mind, because sometimes you may go into something, but then you take an elective class and that sparks your interest in something totally different. So I definitely would say just have an open mind. If you want to start the process, I would just say just start doing some research and see what is available. If that's Bellevue, if that's some other university, just see what the admission process is like, what they're asking of you to submit, and different things of that nature.
That's awesome. That's really good advice about talking to your family first. The first thing you said was talk to your family.
Yeah.
Because you know what I feel like I always do, because you know me, I'm all over the place. I'm a hot mess. So I'm like, I get super excited about an idea and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go research it. I'm going to go figure this out. I go and I start doing everything. And the very last thing I do is talk to my husband. And then I'm like, hey, I had this really fabulous idea. I already went and did it. And he's like, what? I'm getting better. We've been together for 10 years. He mellows me out. I got to say, we're total polar opposites. The man is chill. He's super steady. He's never up and down. He's got the same steady, cool, like mellow flow all the time. And then I'm like, woo, 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 woo. So we're perfect for each other. And so I'll be like, hey, I did this thing. And he'll be like,
yeah,
why?
Why?
And I'll be like, well, because I heard about it and it was super interesting and super exciting. And I just started a business. I just invested $5,000. And he'll be like,
what?
Girl, at this point, I don't even know what to say to you. You have no idea how many times I've heard my husband say, at this point, I don't even know why you ask me. You're going to do whatever. Right? You're just going to do whatever you want. And it's going to go however and make it go. And so I'm just on the ride at this point. He's like, I'm getting better though, Budhan. I swear to goodness, I'm starting to learn to talk to my family first. Because you need your support system in place too. Because it's one thing to know that you have the time to invest, you have the process planned out, and you're determined, but it's another thing to get everybody else on board with that, because when they're not, it just makes it all, even if it doesn't make the process any more difficult, I think the mental process is important as well. And so when you feel like you have everybody on your team and everybody's like rooting for you, that's just gonna add to your success as well. So I think that that's an important thing to know.
And definitely, I would say it gives you an extra burst of energy to push you forward.
A little bit more drive, right? Like if I know my family's on the JoJo train too, I'm going to make sure that everything is going, like I want to make sure that I'm successful because everybody's on the JoJo train. We can't disappoint the passengers, right? So, I know I'm so weird. I don't know why people listen to this damn show. So do you know?
That's what it is.
If that's what you'll call it. They have meds for this. I just don't take them. And so tell me a little bit about, what does the future look like right now for Bellevue? Do you know if they're going to be back in the SCCC office and live soon, or what that's going to look like?
So the decision right now is based on SUNY Schenectady decision. Right now, SUNY Schenectady, they did make a decision that they are doing a hybrid model. So what that means is classes online, and then if you're doing labs or something of that nature, those things will be on campus. For me, I am planning on returning to campus once classes do begin.
Nice.
I do want to be available and be a resource to the community college. If there's students on campus, I do want to be a resource and still have a presence there on the campus as well, and as well out in the community, of course. But I do plan on having a hybrid model as well to work remotely, and then also to work at the office. So
Good.
Yes, I do plan on going back.
Yes, but you're going to be flexible with it, and I think that the future business model way that we do things is just always, I think this is always going to supplement it, having that virtual platform now. It's like, okay, everybody knows that Zoom and Google Meets and all of these other platforms, they've been around. All right, this is not new technology. This stuff has been sitting on the back of our desk, just not being used often. And now with everything going on, it's sort of like, wow, well, this stuff was actually super convenient for certain individuals. And I think that it's going to really change how DIRAD does business. Like here at DIRAD Technologies, we're going to probably do a lot of our initial meets with people over Zoom. Now, when it comes to looking at infrastructure, I need to see your server. I need to see what kind of phone systems you have. What kind of wires are we looking at here? What kind of setup, right? So I do need to eventually meet with people in person, but now I'm cutting out a lot of that travel up front, and I'm only meeting with individuals who are kind of pre-qualified through the process. Like I know we could help them, and I know that they need us, so I think that we're going to see a lot of the hybrid thing going on across the board, not just for Bellevue University, and not just for DIRAD. I think a lot of businesses are taking that approach. And, I'm interested to see what this does for the future of education,
Right.
in general. And so I always ask this question. I always close with this question, okay? What is your number one piece of advice for a hopeful entrepreneur out there listening right now?
I would say, and I'm going to quote someone. I'll quote Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
You probably know him, probably the greatest hockey player of all time, probably one of the greatest. Is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So what I would say is take your shot. Even if you miss, you've taken your shot. You can now go back, review, and see what somewhere in the process of why you didn't get the results you wanted, and you retool and you go again. But I would definitely say, and as Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So take your shot.
Go for it. Yes, that's the first time I've had somebody quote somebody when they did their answer for that. I love you, Budhan. Dude, we're gonna go get coffee because you're in Schenectady. We don't live far from each other. I'm super stoked to have somebody on who's from my area of New York and gets my ghetto fabulousness. 100%. Like when people meet me, they're like, I don't quite get you. Like you speak professionally, you're dressed very professionally, and at the same time you have this little ghetto twinge kind of running through. Like, dude,
right.
Schenectady baby.
Yeah.
That's just running through and through me. Can't get it out of me. Never gonna stop. I love that you're from there. And if you want to get in touch with Budhan and are interested in maybe continuing your education, he is a fabulous resource. It's super easy to talk to. You can reach him at his cell phone, 518-898-6337. And he's also going to include a link that's going to be put up with this video to, what was it called? What was it?
My portal. I have a portal page where students or anyone from community can go and request information, or my email is on there as well, sent with my phone, so they can reach out to me.
So his contact page is going to be added in with this post anywhere that it's linked on. If it's on LinkedIn, if it's on Facebook, if it's on YouTube, I'm going to make sure that that link is included in the box below or above, depending on where you're at. And you can get in touch with him that way. That's probably the fastest way to get in contact with him. But again, you can call him. And Budhan, thank you so much for being on and representing Bellevue University on Friday's Flavor. I'm really glad that we got to connect, and I'm super excited about, you know, the future of the college and just seeing where everything's headed. You're going to have to be back on again, maybe post-COVID, whenever that is, and see how things went and kind of catch up with you. And God bless you. Thank you so much for being on.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Happy Friday, everybody.